guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Angel, aka the Angelic Muse. I am an intuitive tarot reader as well as a certified Reiki practitioner. And as you can see from the title, I am here with a pick a card. This one is based on how people perceive you, how they view you, what energy you give off, things of that nature. Just your overall theme, I guess. So as you can see, we have 3 piles for you to choose from. We have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3 here. So we're doing seashells, not crystals this time around. So for your first pile, we have this shell. I use the baby ones because they're so cute. For your second pile, we have this brown shell. And then for your third pile, we have this predominantly brownish shell. Got a little white on top though. So I tried to fit them all on the screen so you could just pause and meditate on whatever one you choose. If you choose 1, that's fine. If you choose 2, that's fine. If you choose all 3, that's cool too. But if you choose none, that's okay too. Just not your reading. So maybe another one. Who knows? But yeah, so all timestamps will be down below for you guys. You can go ahead and skip to your chapter. And then all my links as well will be down below. My official website where you could book an intuitive tarot reading session or a certified Reiki practitioner session. And then I also added my services for my spell petitions. If you're interested in that, that is a new service that I am offering online. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get into your reading, and I will see you all at your timestamp. Hey, pile 1. So if you chose the seashell, if you chose the seashell that looks like this, here is your reading. So we're going to start out with your tarot as always, and then we're going to get into your oracle afterwards. So for your first card, I think I pulled them. Yeah, I pulled them this way. So for your first card, you have the High Priestess. Second card is the Ace of Swords. Your third card is the Ten of Swords. Fourth card is the Nine of Cups. And then your last card is the Magician. So, all right, so based off your tarot, I want to say my pile 1s, the way people view you and see you is as if you have this kind of like innate ability to bounce back from things, or even if you do go through things, because I'm seeing with this Ten of Swords, the Ten of Swords is directly in the middle. It's interesting. So you have the High Priestess as your first card and the Magician as your last, which are your 2 major arcana. And then the only like negative card here would be the Ten of Swords, which is like the ending, or like it's like like you feel completely obliterated, or like just like you can't take it anymore mentally, like that kind of feeling I'm getting with that card. But well, that's the meaning of the card typically. But what I'm seeing here is that you have like this strong sense within yourself, or this strong awareness within yourself that everything works out for you in the end, and people see that and they admire that. You may actually have a few people that would rather, they don't want to see you win, but that is neither here nor there, because, and the only reason I say that is because you have this Nine of Cups energy here, and the Nine of Cups is like emotional fulfillment in a sense. And for some reason with this particular Nine of Cups, he has like this attitude where, or it seems to me through these cards, he has an attitude like, yeah, I did that. And like And not to say that you have like that way, but there may be times where you kind of have to put on that brave face and say like it go kind of against all odds, and people realize that about you, that you have the ability to do that and make whatever trials and tribulations and things that you go through, you make them work for you in the end. It's almost like you go into them with this high priestess here knowing, okay, um this life thing, this whole experience that I'm dealing with here is happening for me. There is a deeper essence to it. There is like, as if you already know you have a higher calling. People will hold you in high regard here with this high priestess and the magician. They know that if nobody else will get things done, then whoever my power ones are, and you'll do it again with ease. For it to go from this ace of swords to this ten of swords, you may find yourself in like going through these roller coaster moments, or having these experiences where you kind of have to think your way out of things. But in the end, I feel like that is what you have this. You're the person people go to when need they want things to make sense. Like, you have a very logical mind, and you have a very clear way of thinking, and it's the your ability to execute it, or put it on paper, or put it in words, or put it in writing, whatever the case may be, is very keen, and not many people have that. And are people admire you for that. um there's a lot of white in these throughout these cards. Every card has a hint of white to it, and white is the color of like freshness, purity, innocence. So I do feel like you have a mysteriousness to you, which I know black is typically the color of mystery. However, it's showing up to me through these cards. Like, in everything that you do, people always wonder how you did it. And you always have, like I said, like a fresh mind or perspective in terms of, like, how you get things done. There's a passion, and there's there's a certain how do I explain this? No matter what it is that you're dealing with in life, there's a certain spark that each experience gives you, whether it be considered to be good or bad. It, you always find the lesson in things. You always find a way to empower yourself or others, no matter what the circumstances. There's also a lot of ones in here. You have the Ace of Swords, and you have the Ten of Swords, and then you have the Magician. So, and your power one at that. So you may be like self-starters. You could be a cardinal sign, even so. I only say that because one is the beginning, and there just seems to be a lot of like beginner's mind energy in here. So like again, cardinal signs, they start the seasons. So maybe you're like a way maker, or like you pave the way for certain people to feel free, or as if you make people feel comfortable enough to be themselves, because you are yourself, unapologetically at that. There's not really, with this Ten of Swords here, like I said, whether you go through experiences like in a roller coaster type wave or not, or whether you just go through them and you pop out of them fairly quickly due to the way you mentally tell yourself, like, you kind of will yourself out of these things, these mental states. Like, this woe is me attitude is not really something that you sit in for long, if at all. You kind of, again, you take your experiences and you use them to better yourself, and it shows with this Magician card to end it out. Like, it's as if you always have a brave face on, even though you do have the ability to to showcase, like, okay, yes, I do go through things. I do have my doubts. I do have my fears, my insecurities. I do have times where my mental takes over. There is a certain way to you that people recognize, and they want to be more like you in that sense. And again, they just admire you. You could be, like I said, you could be very reserved, because with the high priestess, and the magician, they're two totally different energies. The high priestess is more to herself. She kind of thinks, not kind of, she does think before she acts on anything. She utilizes her intuition in all aspects and all areas of life. She's also very understanding that the intuition is what keeps you grounded and stable through those gray areas in the middle ground, and just understanding the deeper aspects of life. And then the magician here, she takes all of the knowledge, she takes all of her power, the masculine energy is then applied, whereas the high priestess is more feminine energy. The magician is more masculine. And you don't really take that next step unless you are absolutely ready to, and you feel like you've covered all bases. Even with the Ten of Swords here, in a sense, this is you going through every which way of dealing with something, you eliminating all possibilities before you make a final decision. You're very tactful and careful when it comes to the Nine of Cups here. When it comes to this um, element, or this energy of being in this energy, you are very, very mindful of what you pour into your cups. You're very mindful of what you pour into your mind, and you're very mindful of what you output into the world. You put out into the world. You don't just go after things just for the hell of it. You're not just out here throwing caution to the wind. You're not just out here being irresponsible in any aspect or of your life. You may have had your past where you've experienced that, but again, you've turned that into fuel, and you've used those experiences as catalysts, or as propellers, and it's created a life of enjoyment and fulfillment for you now that you're able to pass on to others, that they actually look forward to. So that is what I'm getting from the tarot here, based on your energy and how people view you in that sense. Let me get into your oracle now and see what comes out. So for your first, I pulled the African Goddess Rising Oracle. I pulled two of those. So for your first one, you have Ayazan Miracles. I could be pronouncing that wrong. Represented by the number 42. Then you have Queen of Sheba, Secrets Revealed, represented by the number 36. And then I pulled two Wisdom of the Oracle, also two Shaman Dream Oracle, which say Lost in Space, Needing Direction. Many Masks, The Authentic Self. And then you have Peace, represented by the number 23. And then Unfinished Symphony, represented by the number 10. So I'm going to read the African Goddess Rising out of the book. However, me seeing all of this about, it seems really cloudy within the oracle. You have the mini mask, the authentic self. Then you have Queen of Sheba, Secrets Revealed, Lost in Space, Needing Direction. So again, I do feel like there is a mysteriousness to you that other people kind of want to understand or get to know. They can't quite figure you out. You have, again, a way of, you're not really, and when I see mini masks, the authentic self, I don't necessarily take it as you being fake, or you being ingenuine, or disingenuine, I'm sorry. Or just I feel like what it is that you have layers to you. You have experiences to you, have layers to you, and the masks in themselves are your that know it's going to sound crazy, but the masks in themselves are still your authentic self. It's just that you're kind of like a jack of all trades when it comes to like figuring shit out. Like you don't really have the mask on because you're trying to hide anything. It's more so like, okay, these are the shoes that I have to wear in this particular situation. This is the face that I have to put on um in this particular situation if I want to get shit done. Like the magician is very much aware of her power. The magician is very much aware of like what it is that she's connected to. She's connected to God and the earth. She's connected to source. Like she is a creator in herself, and she's born from a creator. And it's not without there is no coincidence there that the power within she kind of always knew the power was within her. She knows that. She's very much aware of that. Just like the high priestess knows it, but the magician has the ability to execute it. So and then with this peace card here, there's like an egg of some sort. It's kind of like you're shelled off in a sense. So I'm going to get into these um let me read these out of the book. I'm going to start off with number 42, Heyyy. I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm hoping I'm not, but this is the goddess of miracles from Haiti. The temple is the high priestesses, which is interesting because, oh my goodness, I didn't even notice it. Hold on, before I read it. It's crazy because this is the high priestess and the high priestess. Look how similar the cards are. If you can see them, see she has two pillars. She doesn't have a book, but she has some type of abundance, some greenery, something there. But she's definitely looking real high priesty. Okay, let's see. The element is the bush, so I guess that's what she has in her hand. It says Mambo Priestess Ayizan is the wise Haitian deity, queen of the market, riches, and sacred initiations. Respect her as the highly venerated spirit of the first priestess. You are a magnet for miracles. You are a miracle. What if you truly allowed yourself to believe? All things are possible. Dare to dream bigger. The embodiment of her says, you claim you want miracles, but you take an I'll believe it when I see it approach. What if you see it after you believe it? Believe that you deserve to be, do, have the world you want for yourself. You can be your true self, do what awakens your soul, and have your desires. This is life's miracle. If you haven't witnessed your miracle yet today, ask for it and allow it in. And then the declaration says, my life is full of miracles. So this goes back to what I was saying. There is a way with you have this way within you where you just kind of know, like you're not like everybody else. And I don't mean that to like make you. And I'm pretty sure you're not cocky. Like you probably. It seems like there's a very humbled sense to you. Like you don't even like even if you do know a lot of shit, you don't throw it in people's faces. You don't try to make them feel bad about it. You just want naturally you just want everybody to be better and to help who you can when you can, but you know that first you need to help yourself, and people see that you don't really put like you have your support, your team or whatever, your family, your friends and all that you genuinely care about, but you prioritize yourself, and you understand that without you there is no anything else really. Like you can't really take care of outside unless you focus on the inside first. And the high priestess is very in tune with her insides, her intuition, her emotions. She's tapped in that sense. And you are understanding that the what people consider to be the smaller things are what you consider to be miracles. Like waking up in the morning. Some people will say, thank God, like that's a little thing. It's not a little thing, because if you didn't wake up this morning, you wouldn't be able to do anything. So it's actually way bigger than you think. And you understand that. And I know that that might have been like a strange example, but it's the one that came to me. So, um, I mean, and it's true because people do consider like little things like waking up in the morning, being able to walk and breathe. We kind of just naturally do these things. We were breathing without thinking about it. But imagine if you weren't breathing. You know what I mean? It's not a little thing. But let me read your second card, which is Queen of Sheba, Secrets Revealed, represented by 36. And that one says, Goddess of Secrets Revealed in Ethiopia, the temple's queen. Her element is fire. And it says, in the Bible, the wealthy Queen of Sheba brings a caravan of gifts to King Solomon. The Ethiopian holy book reveals that she was their Queen Makeda, and that together they sired King Menelik the First. And her guidance says, open your eyes, secrets are being revealed. It is safe for you to see the truth. Your inner vision is crystal clear. The embodiment says, you don't know what you don't know. Your creator, ancestors, angels, spirits, and ascended masters are whispering to you. This is divine intelligence. Pay close attention. There are things you do not let yourself see. Allow yourself to be guided and choose your own path. Then the declaration says, I am connected to the divine. And that is crazy because if you look at the magician, like I said, you know that you are connected to God and you know you are connected to this earth too. Like, but you're a spiritual being having this human experience. Like the magician knows. She's very much in tune. She can act on it. And then look at this card. Look at the similarities between these two, all that red, all the passion, all the fire. And this is the secrets revealed. This is the high priestess turning into the magician, because with all the knowledge within the high priestess that's there, you know, she doesn't act on it. She's really passive. She's quiet. She's herself. She's learning. But then the magician comes out of nowhere and she kind of embodies it and you see it. The world gets to see it. And that is how you really do have this way of thinking before you act. I mean, you may have your fiery moments, like where you kind of just want to just do. Like magicians, just like, oh, I'm full of action. I'm full of inventions. I'm full of whatever. However, your main thing is to like knowing that you've experienced a lot with this Ten of Swords. Like I said, you've gone through many trials and tribulations that have gotten you to where you are now. So you're not impulsive in a sense where you're reckless. That's not what I mean when I say that. I just mean it in a way where it's like you kind of want to help everyone, and it may at times be, it's not that you're doing anything wrong, it's just that we can't help everybody. And I think that that might be something that gets to you guys in particular. And then going back up to this lost in space needing direction, I think that that might be it, because we kind of don't realize that, like, while this world is just what it is, this world, we don't understand the vastness of it, just how big it is. No one does. And I feel like that may be one thing that kind of may pick at you in a sense. You have this awareness of yourself and your purpose and your gifts and your magic and all those things, but that you may get caught up in the whys on a grander scheme and wanting to know the answers to a lot more than you may be granted at the time, if that makes sense. But it's not really to your detriment. It's just you have a curious mind. Um, and then lastly, with this unfinished symphony card, I didn't really touch on the peace card. So just to go back to that a bit, I did mention the fact that it was like kind of shelled off, and very eggs are also very fragile. Um, but you can read eggs too. Like you can crack an egg open and read what's on the inside. So again, I feel like this just goes back to you. You are this shell, not literally a shell, but you're like this closed off like people just want to know more about you. They definitely don't play with you. They're not something that you can play with, because if you mishandle an egg the wrong way, it will crack. And excuse me, it will crack and it will break, and you can't put it back together again in the same way. So I think that people take um a lot of care when it comes to you. They Not just anyone will approach you. Not just anyone will engage in conversation with you. Um, and also going back to the fact that you can actually like crack an egg and read it after a certain amount of time, but you can't read it right away. So again, I think this just goes back to you and just the nature of how you are. You may think, oh, you're from the outside, it looks a certain way, but then once you actually get to talking to you, it's like, oh, this person knows a lot of stuff. She or he knows or can hold some of the best conversations I've ever had. And I'm always learning something. You're definitely the person someone can always learn from as well. And then the unfinished symphony here, represented by the number 10, it's just giving me like, and there's a piano on the back. There's a piano on the back. So I think you just move to the beat of your own, like you go to the tune of what that fits you at the time. And not only that, but with unfinished symphony, there's always more to you. Like there's layers. Like I said, you with the mini mass, it's like it just kind of never ending knowledge, never ending surprises, never ending. And symphonies are always pleasant to hear. Like just think of it like that. Like there's never a dull moment with you. There's never a time where I'm not amazed or surprised at what it is that I find out when I talk to my pal ones. That's just the vibe that I'm getting from you guys on how people view you. You definitely have this way of alchemizing and turning your pain into passion, turning it into a purpose, and making it all look good, like making it all sound good. It all fits, it all makes sense, and it's not fake. It's not just for show or to make it seem like you have it all together. You literally have shit together that a lot of people struggle with in this life, and you have a way of balancing the good with the bad and creating something that works for you out of it. But one thing about you is that you know how to balance the thought with the action. You don't just sit on your thoughts. You don't just impulsively do things. You have this amazing balance based off of the experiences that you've had in this life. So, um, but yeah, that is pretty much all I have for my pile ones. Um, I thank you so much for being here, and I pray that this resonates. I was just trying to make sure nothing else came up for me, but I thank you so much for being here, and I pray this resonates with you. If it does, please let me know down in the comments. You can like, you can subscribe as well. All my links and stuff will be down below if you'd like to connect with me. And I am out of here. I pray you guys enjoy the rest of your day or your night. Hey, Pal 2. So if you chose the brown, I'm going to call it crystal, the brown seashell, here is your reading. So we're going to start out with your tarot first, and then we're going to pull from your oracle after. So for your first card, you have the 7 of Swords in reverse. Your second card, you have the Knight of Wands. Your third card is the Magician. Your fourth card is the Queen of Swords. And then your fifth card is the King of Wands. Okay. So, first and foremost, I want to say that This was definitely different. The first card, I mean, the first pile got the Magician as well, but I feel like this pile is more like of an more of the impulsive type. I think the way people view you is you're very honest for one. With the Seven of Swords in reverse, I feel like you may be blunt, not harsh, but very blunt and straightforward and open about whatever it is that you're dealing with, whatever it is that you're talking about. I feel like people definitely know that they can come to you for advice. They know that they can come to you if they want the truth, if nothing else. And even at times where you may not even ask, they may not ask you, you still probably may give your opinion in a way. And it's not in a way where you butt in, but just when you know something or when you're well seasoned in an area, you tend to, or you may tend to just kind of insert your thoughts and opinions on things. With this Knight of Wands here, that's where the impulsivity comes in for me. Or where I'm feeling like you may be impulsive in terms of like when you like interject your opinion into things. And some people like it, some people don't. The Knight of Wands doesn't really care either way. Um, it's not really a card that is. He's not really the Knight, whether you're male or female or not, doesn't matter. The Knight of Wands is not really thinking about the consequences of things, of their actions. So, and that's not to say you're reckless, because with this Queen of Swords and this King of Wands here, I do feel like there is a balance somewhere in there, and I'll get to that in a minute. But with the Magician in itself, the Magician, it's first of all, it's not reversed, so this is where I don't feel like you're doing anything like reckless. But you have like a the word tactful came to me, so I'm gonna you have a tactful sense to you. You're very careful about like what it is that you do, even if it does seem outwardly impulsive to other people. You are very understanding, and you have a very confident and strong connection with your creator, with God, with your higher power. And you understand that your life's mission and the way that you are and the way that you're built and the way that you're wired to come across is the way that it is for a reason. And people appreciate that about you, that you are yourself unapologetically, without really care or concern for how people view you. That's not to say you don't consider opinions or the thoughts of others, because of this Queen of Swords and this King of Wands here, they're both facing each other. I know you can't really see the head of the King of Wands, but he's facing her. So I do feel like there is a balance there with what you say, what you do, and what you think and what you react on. I just think that in the long run, your opinion and your um the end all be all starts with you. You definitely consider others' opinions. You're very wise, you're very receptive to um you're very receptive to the thoughts of others. You're very considerate in that sense. However, when it comes to the final decisions that you make in life, I feel like they are ultimately all yours. But you handle them with a lot of confidence and a lot of like, you don't really do well with pushback. You don't do well with pushback. You don't do well with being told what to do. You're very like you're very adaptable, which I think is why you are. Other people view you in a way where it's like, okay, this girl or this guy kind of just does things the way they want to, but it always ends up working out for you. And people notice that as well. Like, it's not like you may have had moments where you, like with this Knight of Wands, here, you may have had moments where you've gotten ahead of yourself, but I think that essentially what they've done is, with the Magician card here, they've allowed you to grow from your mistakes. And that is why with the Queen of Swords here, it's more feminine in comparison to the King. Now, mind you, Swords and Wands are both air and fire, which are masculine energy. So that's why I say, like, you don't really, it's not that you don't care about people's opinions, you just know that you can do without them, in terms of, like, when it comes to getting ahead in life, and um when it comes to bettering yourself, you're not really here for hearing about why it makes other people uncomfortable, because you know that that is something that has to be done. Like, you know that the betterment of yourself, the betterment of other people, is something that is pertinent, and it's necessary for society. And you don't factor in feelings, not because you don't care about them, but because they're ultimately going to get in the way of the bigger goal here. And I feel like you're all about results. People see you as a go-getter. They see you um, as a very honest, a very bold and creative character. You have, again, like, you're very adaptable. You have the ability to change and mold yourself to be comfortable in any situation. You maintain order throughout whatever it is that you're dealing with. You don't really, like, you're very much protected. And whether you go into something full, like, without thinking it through fully or not, I think you think about it maybe that 3/4 the way, and you'll figure it out the other 1/4, is what I'm getting here. And it's not like you, again, it's not, this isn't coming from a place of, like, recklessness. I feel like you've already been past that, and other people have seen that. Like, they may look at your past experiences and say, oh, this person used to be this way, and now they're this way. Um, but it's in a more mature sense. You haven't really stayed stagnant in terms of, like, maybe the other people around you, maybe they're kind of like stuck on the same wave, whereas you used to look like that, and now you're at a point where you're like, I don't want that for myself anymore, so I have to um kind of mature in that sense. And you have, other people are seeing how you have matured. Again, they see how honest and wise you are, and how adaptable you are, and how fiery, and how you make, and I don't say instability as a negative. I mean it like, you could be on some shaky ass ground and still maintain balance. And other people see that, because, like I said, this is a lot of, like, go-y type energy. It's like, go, 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 do, do, do. Like, there isn't really much time for sitting around. There's a lot of fire, there's a lot of air. Like, you put those two together, and it's like a whole whirlwind of, like, things. There's not really time to factor any emotion. There's not really time to sit down and ground, and and stabilize. Not that you don't do these things, it's just that they're not the priority for you. From other people's point of view, seems to be to just go and do things and get shit done. Like, they don't really see you sitting around all. um you just seem like a busybody, and someone who, like, and if this is in terms of a relationship for some of you, if you're asking, like, how someone in particular views you, I do feel like they felt like there is some type of balance between you, because the Queen of Swords and the King of Wands are facing each other. They're both masculine energy. I mean, well, queens are feminine, but just the element of swords is masculine. So she I do feel like there's a fitting here. It's this isn't an opposites attract type thing. This is more of a, like, we blend so well, we are so similar type energy, yet so different, but it matches. It's the same type of energy, but it's different in a sense where, like, again, you have feminine, you have masculine. So maybe you're the woman and there's a man looking out for you. Or for those of you who aren't asking about any like particular like person or partner or like soulmate, twin flame, whatever it is that you believe in, anything like that, there are people who are viewing you in that light, whether you see it or not, whether you have the time to sit down and peek, like, and like weigh your options when it comes in terms of relationship. If that's something you're looking for in the moment, there are people who are looking at you as a potential suitor or as a potential, whether you are a woman or man or whatever. um but there are others who are looking at you as a potential like partner, like as a woman, like they want to court you, they want to date you, they want to peek more inside your mind if they haven't already gotten there. Like there are definitely people in pursuit of your kind. So I'm going to get into your oracle now. That's just what I picked up off the tarot. um just someone who is, again, very, very fast going in a sense. So for your first card, you have I set surrender, represented by the number 44. Then you have manifestation, Mojaji, I think that's her name, represented by the number 9. Then you have a tidy house, clarity and organization. Covenant, sacred contract, represented by the number 7. A tidy house was represented by number 1, which, okay, I'll get into that in a second. Then you have 38, to be fair. Oh, I'm hitting shit. Y'all ain't hear that. I hit the damn thing over here. Then you have 41, soulmates, represented by the number 41. So again, before I get into all that, going back to this soulmates card represented by number 41, that just goes back to what I was saying about the the Queen of Swords and the King of Wands. If there are like potential suitors, or if there is someone in mind that you're asking about, there's definitely someone or someone's with their eye on you that are looking at you in a way where they want to build with you, or they see a future with you. And this doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. This could be platonic. This could be a friendship. This could be a business partnership. There's someone or something out there that is matching well with you, to like that wants to, I shouldn't have said something, because this is definitely just all focused on people. I was thinking in terms of like something like a goal or an idea or something, but this is definitely just given like a connection, like a people connection type vibe. There's definitely someone out there who has their eye on you, or multiple people with their eyes on you. But that's just for you to figure out on your own, because this is a general reading and I don't really know, I can't really channel for specifics in that sense. But with this, a tidy house, clarity and organization, represented by the number 1. First and foremost, I think that going back to what I was saying about you being like go, 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 impulsive, I feel like with that, you take care of the minor, the details of, you have your house in order internally. It may look a certain way outwardly, as if you're like going, going, going all the time, but you have a sense of stability to you, and a sense of like order and direction. You wouldn't be able to just go, go, go it without having like a to-do list or like a checklist or something. You prioritize in that way. You don't just aimlessly you may literally make to-do lists, or like like, okay, I want to do these 10 things. Let me write down whatever it is that I need to get done. Check it off by this list. But because you have such order, that is how you are able to get things done. Whereas opposed to another person who may look at you and say, how are you doing all this? But you look over at their shit and they got a whole room. the mess of clothes, the pile of clothes that look like a person in the corner, the damn to-do list, laundry list of to-do lists, or however you say it, laundry list of things to do. Yeah. And it just never gets done because they don't know where to start. I feel like you have such an order with you. And again, the magician is the only major arcana that came out of here. The magician is very orderly. She has all four elements right in front of her at her use. And it's, look at it, like it's just, it's there. That's all she needs. And there's no distractions. There's not extra shit over there. Even the flowers and things aren't getting in the way of what it is that she has, what needs to be done. And she, only thing she has in her hand is the wand because it's all she needs in the moment. So you're not out here just, whether you have a impulsive or like a go-getter type energy to you, you still go about it in a tactful way, going back to what I was saying. And then why is that? Because you realize that this life is sacred, and you understand it in a way, like you understand that you write your own story, that your path and your life purpose and things like that may be predetermined, because again, it's a contract. There are certain things written in here that are set in stone, and that may play a part in why you are so, like, why you are so good at just going with things, because you understand your divine connection that you had. And not trying to be funny, but going back to this Seven of Swords with the Knight of Wands here, the experiences that you went through in the past that have brought you to this moment now may have left other people confused, and it may have left some people even envious of you in that sense. Like they're like, why her or him and not me? But it's because you have a deeper understanding of why you are here. You're not really in it for surface level things. You're kind of, you go beyond the surface, below the surface, to you kind of dig deeper in a sense. And that is what triggers your honesty, if that makes sense. Like that is why you're able to be so honest with yourself, because you've gone as deep as you needed to go to find out. You've done the nasty work, or the dirty work, or the work other people don't want to do within themselves. And whether it's caused you to, like Knight of Wands, like I said, they don't really, and not even in a bad way, but they don't really care about like all the other shit around them. They're doing things for them. And I don't look at it in a selfish way. It's like, no, but I know I have to get this done regardless of what's going on. And none of this is like cup energy. Only thing, like the manifestation card here, it has some rain in it, but nothing in here is calling out to the emotional aspects or the emotional sides. So I think that what you've had to do that a lot of people can't do is put your emotions to the side in order to weed out what's important and what's not. And other people may find that to be a bit of a challenge for themselves. And either they envy you in a way where, I mean, envy in itself is admiration, but whether they envy you in a way that it feels negative or positive, because somebody can say, "Oh, I'm jealous of you," like, and it's not even in a way they're like, "Dang, like, how do you get that? I envy that." Like, not in a bad way, but then there are others who may do that. That's just something I just wanted to throw out there, because we are talking about the way people view you anyway. So, but I do know that that is to be able to be as much of a go-getter as you are and still keep the clarity and organization and order is a feat in itself that most people don't have the ability to accomplish. So there's that. So what was I at? Oh, let me go. I'm gonna read these out of the book here, and then I'll get into, I already touched on the soulmates. But I'm going to get into the To Be Fair card. So, right here. So Asset Surrender, that's on page 40. Oh, no, that's not on page 44, but that is number 44. It says, goddess of spiritual surrender, Nubia, Egypt. Her temple is the high priestesses, and her element is the bush. Goddess Iset is revered as a magical healer and sorceress. She of 10,000 names. You may know her as Isis, her Greek name, or Aset, Aset, or Wuset. Iset was worshipped in ancient Nubia, the Sudan region, Egypt, and beyond. Her guidance says, let it all go. Say aloud now, I surrender. These words cast a spell and breathe them in. Release control. Stop bonding around struggle. Hand the keys to the divine. Allow spirit to carry you and fill the gaps. You don't have to figure it all out. God or goddess has your back. Have faith in where you are at this moment. Her declaration says, everything I need to know finds me at the perfect time. And again, that goes back to what I was saying about this contract that you have. You know that your life purpose, you know that your path, you know that all of these things are destined and predetermined by God at the end of the day. You just have like the minor details to work out in between. And I think that's why you have this ability to continue, like you just go and people see that. They're like, oh, she kind of, it looks like outwardly like you figure shit out as you go. But the thing is, at times, it may even feel like that to you, but the reality of it is that your higher self knows that God has already figured this out. So even in the midst of you being present in the moment, you have that assurance in back of you that's saying like, okay, like I know I'm good regardless. So whatever is happening right now is happening for me, and you are in control of what it is that you surrender the shit you can't control, and then you take on what you can. And that's why you have so much wand energy, so much fire energy, because, and not only that, like the fire in the air, the element in itself, like there's no water here, there's no pentacles here, there's no cups, there's no pentacles here. It's just all fire and air, and you put those two together and you have like a whirlwind of shit. Nobody knows what to expect. If you all you need is one little flame and a wish of fire to start some shit up, and that's literally just you just need like that one little ounce of faith. Other people see that, and then it kind of like just you use that in so many different areas of your life, and you're not really people come to you for advice. You don't really, people wonder where you go for your advice, if that makes sense. But of course you have this, again, like this divine connection. You don't really have to go to anybody. You can just go straight to the source because you have it in that way. And other people wonder like how do you have it so good? Like, how do you have it so, or what looks good to them? Because good is based on perception, and somebody could have an amazing life and think it's the worst, just like somebody could have what other people consider to be the worst life and think it's the shit. You know what I mean? So, and then your last one, manifestation, Mojaji. She's from Balobedu, South Africa. Her temple is the conjurers. Her element is water. Okay, well, that's the only bit of water we got here, but that's in terms of manifestation. Let me just say that. So you do need the water things in order for them to grow. But outside of that, when it comes, you know what I meant. Anyway, Goddess Mojaji is the hereditary rain queen of South Africa's Balobedu people. Excuse my pronunciation because I'm really not good with this, and I feel bad that I can't even pronounce it. But then I didn't know these cards was gonna come out. Otherwise, I would have like Googled it and asked them to translate it. So, but I didn't. So, anyway, Goddess Mojaji is the hereditary rain queen of South Africa's Balobedu people, a matrilineal queendom. Mojaji's daughters dance to the frequency of rain. Her guidance says, showers of blessings are yours. You are a rainmaker, master manifester, shapeshifter, alchemist, and sorceress. Open your hands and heart. The embodiment says, yes, make it rain. You are manifesting big. This has been a long time coming. You are co-creating with spirit. Match the energetic frequency, the ashe of your desire. You are magnetic, and like attracts like. Raise your vibration to align with the sacred. Close your eyes and see your blessings. Feel them in your bones. Ask, believe, act, allow, and receive. And then her declaration says, divine blessings flow to me so easily. So that goes back to what I was saying. So that rain in that card is literally just every cause for your reaction. I mean, every cause for your reaction. So like when you react to something and and granted, this isn't from an ill place. This isn't from like a a harsh or like abrupt type place. When you literally put your mind to something, when you get the clarity on it, when you get the go on it, and you react to it, and you do all you can to make these things happen for you, that rain is just all of your blessings pouring in. And that is what confuses the people. Like that is you dancing in the rain, and that's you just like shit always working out for you. People wonder, how does it always work out for Pound 2? Like it not even, again, like some people may say it in a way where they're like, damn, like this isn't, it's not fair. But the thing is, it is fair because you deserve it. You deserve it. You put in the work to be able to move as swiftly as you do, to be able to build on things in the way that you do, to be able to take something and nothing and make it something. Because that's literally what the magician does. Magician can have literally what looks seems to be nothing in their hand and do some shit, and then next thing you know, it, like just think of how a magician actually works if you want to think in terms of TV or something. But in terms of life, and it's literally taking a mustard seed of faith and expanding on that. You don't need much to keep you going. Like you kind of have it in you already. It's already instilled in you, and people notice that. Like you can literally have everything stripped from you, but you're still going to be honest enough with yourself to say, I still have my faith. I still have God. I still have a chance. I woke up this morning. Like I said, this is a sacred contract, and you signed it. Essentially, we all signed our contracts when we were born, and like every day that we wake up, we sign our contract. There's the ability to like wipe the slate clean and create a new contract every day, to wake up and be a better you than you were yesterday, and other people realize that you think that way. Like you're like, okay, I don't have to harp on my past. I don't have to. I can definitely take the experiences that I've learned, these Knight of Wands moments where I may have been too impulsive, and I had to learn how to balance that with the ability to be still. Like I will say this. I know I said in the beginning there were no water or no air, earth elements, but there are within the Magician card. But the thing about them is that you pick them up as you need them. You ground yourself when you need to. You cry when you need to. You honor your emotions when you need to. You take action when you need to. Excuse me. You take action when you need to, amongst other things. Like you pause and you think when you need to. But the thing is, other people may sit in their thoughts. Other people may sit. I'm sorry, I need some water. Oh, it's all the way over there. I'll get it after this reading, but whoo, your girl throat is dry. But so you have the ability to pick up as needed, as necessary. And in turn, it allows you to be fair to yourself. It allows you to, excuse me, y'all, I'm so sorry. It allows you to be fair enough to yourself, your situations, and to honor yourself in every way. You don't really slight yourself. People may see like you again doing so much. Like where does she find the time to relax, or where does he find the time to relax? Trust that you're very fair on yourself. But I'm about to close this out because your girl's throat is drier than a motherfucker. I don't know why. So I'm going to close this out. But I thank you so much, Pile 2, for being here. And I pray that this reading resonated with you. I'm going to go give me some water. If this does, please like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments. All my links and everything will be down there as well if you'd like to book a session. But other than that, I thank you so much. And I pray you enjoy the rest. Hey, Pile 3. So if you chose the last shell, this one. Here is your reading. So we're going to start out with your tarot as always, and then we're going to pull your oracle after. So for your first card, you have the King of Swords in reverse. Second card is the Three of Cups in reverse. Third card is the Empress upright. Fourth card is the Lovers in reverse. And then your last card is the Knight of Pentacles upright. Okay, so for my pile threes, I will say that out of the other two piles in this one is definitely giving me a change of the vibes. And I'm going to explain why. It seems like, okay, the way other people view you is as if you have time for everything but yourself. Although I will say, and I don't mean to jump all over the place, but I may end up doing that because I've had to do that with the other piles a little bit. But I will say with the Knight of Pentacles, you do have a very slow and methodical way. Like if it were up to you in the way, like if you could control the world and control every aspect of it, it would be very slow, a slow approach. You don't seem to want to do this. Seem to be the fast moving type, and I think that is what is the cause of all of these reversals. So the King of Swords in reverse isn't the best with communication always. um, Upright, he's very firm in his boundaries, very methodical, very has his head on, correctly confident. Now in reverse, it's obviously all of those things are lacking in some area or another, but this is only due to circumstances. I feel like a lot of people see you, you don't really, you may be like a recluse type with this Three of Cups in reverse. Maybe you've had your fair share of fun in the past, or maybe you just feel like you don't fit in a lot of places. However, like I said, this Empress, I mean, the Knight of Pentacles is upright, but this Empress is also, and that the Empress and the Lovers are your major arcana here. And oddly enough, the three of the Empress is half of the six with the Lovers. So, and the Lovers is in reverse. So, again, I think that you are probably better off. And most people see you in your element, in your best element when you're on your own. I'm not talking about in terms of relationships. I'm just saying, like, when it comes to your work ethic, when it comes to just your ability to handle things, you handle them best alone. And when you're able to sort them out and just clear your mind and not be distracted by the outside world. I feel like people see you as a selfless person to a fault, though. You may actually be taken advantage of in certain, have been taken advantage of in certain instances that other people haven't, or not. It doesn't happen to them as often as it may happen to you. And this isn't to say anything bad about you. We all just have our own different, circumstances in life, paths and things of that nature, and lessons that we have to learn. So these could just be your lessons within your life that you need to break, the habits you need to break. But it does show outwardly when other people see you, because they see it in your actions, and maybe the way you carry yourself in general. Your responses to things aren't as you you're very selfless. Your responses to things aren't ever like, you're very docile. I can say that. Even though King of Swords can be manipulative as well, manipulation doesn't necessarily have to always be nasty. It could be in ways we don't even see. Um, it could be an innocent way. I know it sounds crazy me saying innocent manipulation, but there are ways where you could unintentionally, you're so used to doing something a certain way, you don't realize that it's manipulation until somebody actually breaks it down to you and says, no, it is. It may not be like evil or like nastiness behind it, but just trying to, not speaking up for yourself is a form of manipulation, because you're trying to keep the peace. You're manipulating the environment in a way where it's like, okay, I'm just going to shut up because this is how it fixes. This will fix itself, but it won't. Like that is just an example I'm just giving out. But going back to what I was saying about the Empress here, the Empress seems to be you in your like rare raw form. Like it's in the middle of the pile, which leads me to believe that this is you at your core. And very few people see this. Like if you have a couple intimate relationships and people were actually able to get close to you in that way, they have seen you and your um, divinely like feminine energy, where you're able to birth and create things that actually um, have life and meaning to them. You have a depth to you that most people can't get close to. And it's not that you don't want them to, it's just that maybe you don't know how to. And with the Knight of Pentacles here to end everything off, as far as the tarot goes, it just, and for it to come before the Lovers in reverse, it just shows me that you have a very slow approach. You would rather live a slow life than a fast one. And I feel like outside circumstances show you in a light that isn't truly you. And I didn't really do that for, or say it or get the feeling for the other piles, but I do feel like you're getting the message to reinvent and refine yourself again, so that you're able to show up as this empress. And then the Lovers card in reverse, which is also your other major arcana, will then in turn have an upright type energy to it, because you're able to build and have these relationships that are rooted in love from the heart and not from a place of, like, again, manipulation. Like maybe you're the type, with the Empress, she's a very motherly type card. Maybe you're the type that likes to take on project people. Um, and you find yourself in these relationships, friendships where people kind of just use you in a sense, and you have to, or you just always want to save somebody, even if people don't come to you. Maybe you just gravitate towards people that are like that. And you think that that'll actually that's actually the correct way of going about the whole like healing process or whatever, just because that may be something you've had to do in the past. But that's not it's showing up outwardly. And I'm not here to tell anyone what to do. I'm just here to tell you exactly what it looks like to other people. And it looks like you are very nurturing, you're very motherly, you're very caring, you're very giving, but to a fault. And it ends up burning you in the end. And it ends up causing you to not necessarily go about, you don't handle your situations for your benefit. It's always for somebody else's benefit. Yeah, that's what I'm getting here. And again, there's nothing wrong with you. This could be due to anything: childhood trauma, past relationship trauma, just being bullied, being uh, talked to in a certain way. Your mind, subconscious mind programs itself in ways that we don't really realize. So this could be anything, a number of different things, but it's up to you to get to the bottom of it, obviously. But like I'm saying, that it just looks as if you could do less caring about other people and more caring about yourself. And for other people to outwardly see that, or for me to even read it here in these cards, there is some truth to it if you would consider it. Not to say scale back completely from being a giving, nurturing person, but just to say know when and how and who to be that way too, because everyone isn't deserving of it at all. But the one person that is always deserving of your care, your love, your kindness is yourself. You know, you always want to extend grace and patience and love to yourself, because that is what God has for you and what God wants for all of his children. And, you know, you can't really spread love if you're not really receiving it. You know, it just ends up being, again, a manipulation tactic in a sense. And no shade, no fault to you. This is just things that we have to unlearn. And again, manipulation doesn't have to be that like crazy negative connotation people give it. Like, it can be. You can definitely be nasty and have a weird, I don't want to be around you type disposition to you. However, the way it's showing up here is just as if like, I want to slow down. I don't know how to do it. I only know what I've been doing, and that's to just be this motherly, caring, giving person that I am. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. I'm here to, but what about you? Is what I'm getting. So other people are seeing it as well. So maybe you've heard it before. Maybe you've heard that you need to take a break. Maybe you've heard that you need time to yourself. You need a vacation, X, Y, and Z. You should definitely consider that if you've heard it, and if not, you just did for me. So, getting into your oracle, you have your first. Excuse me for the mispronunciations. I'm not the greatest with these names, but you have Nagame, I think, desire, represented by the number 8, which is also the number of balance, which is also the strength card in the major arcana. And the strength card is all about like taming or understanding that the beasts or those that animal or that instinct within you has to be nurtured and tamed in order to be understood, and not necessarily attacked, not necessarily. This is why the only reason I'm saying this is because for some reason I'm getting the feeling that this my pile threes, like, you tend you tend to beat yourself up a lot. Excuse me, I want to get some water real quick. Okay, y'all, I'm back. Sorry, I left my water all over there, and I don't know why, because with pile 2, I said I needed water, and I went and got it and left it over there again. Anyway, I'm back. So, what was I saying? Nagame, desire, represented by the number 8. Oh yeah. So yeah, like I said, it's the strength card in tarot, and it is like, it's all about taming that inner like animal, or that inner instinct within you to do things this way or that way. Typically it's like about like the anger, or like knowing what strength really means, and it's not all of what we, and that can apply to here too, you know, because when you have that motherly type instinct to you, you tend to want to take on the world. If you are a mother, if you're not, um whether you're male or female or whatever, it doesn't really matter. You can all have that nurturing way to you. And it can be, there's an extreme to everything. Like, you have to know how to balance these things out and know when to say when to put things down, when to pick them up, things of that nature. Um, then you have Sekhmet, the wounded healer, represented by the number 15. The wounded healer, I don't remember the story in detail, but it was like, if I'm not mistaken, it's about like some like mythological, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but basically they have to put themselves in the place of someone else to take the burden, but in the end they ended up I don't know. Look up the story of the wounded healer, and it'll, because I don't want to like misinterpret it. I know I've heard it once or twice, and it always seemed like, damn, like to me, I just can't remember offhand. I'm not the best with like this kind of memory, but a memory in terms of like these stories, but I'll get there eventually. But for right now, all I can say is look that up because it is an interesting. It's Chiron, the wounded healer. That is the story that I'm thinking of, but I don't know if Sekhmet and Chiron are one and the same, or like if they have any like similarities or whatever. But it's definitely something worth looking into. But either way, the wounded healer um, of Egypt, the temple is the warriors. The element is fire. Sekhmet is the fierce ancient Egyptian goddess of war, the sun, and healing. She carries life force in her palm with the power to create or destroy. Her guidance says to heal thyself. Everyone gets your best except you. You are a healer among your tribe. Stop putting your needs last. That is perfectly said. I'm serious. Like, and if I couldn't have said it any better than that, because that Empress card, for that to be in the middle with the King of Swords and the Three of Cups in reverse, and it didn't add up. That is perfectly said because it's the truth. Stop putting your needs last. The embodiment says, when did you decide to become a martyr? Take a breath. Wounded healers hold sadness, rage, and fears of brokenness. Being a warrior wasn't a choice for our beloved foremothers. They did the best they could. But being a goddess warrior for us is knowing that we have the choice not to fight all the time. It's going back to that strength card. Deep dive questions to ask yourself are, what are your swords, the weapons you use to fight? And what are your shields, the ways you defend yourself? Dare to lay the burdens down along with your swords and your shields. That goes back to that King of Swords card here. What are your sword, like the King of Swords in reverse? Like he can't use that sword if it's like he's upside down, literally. Like you don't have that. You don't have the, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the idea of putting yourself first. Like that idea is not first. So in turn, all that masculine energy is going to be put into something else. You don't have anything to shield yourself with because your mental isn't as strong as the next person, which is why people see that. They may pull on that, take advantage of it in whatever way that they can. And so while you are, and again, going back to the manipulation thing, it could be a case where you're manipulating in a way where you're like, okay, I want to keep the peace. Let me not say nothing. But they're like, oh no, like I'm going to attack. And here you are sitting back because you want to put them first. This is just an example. It doesn't necessarily have to be your case, but for majority of you, I can say, because I picked up on it in the way that I am, you are not, people see you as an amazing person, a very nurturing figure. So you're like almost like, and it's gonna sound crazy the way I say it because I don't like the term, but there are some people out there who take advantage of you and create you into a doormat. But then there are others of you who say, okay, this person is being treated like a doormat, but this is not someone that I want to step on. Like there are those who care and then those who literally don't, and that's just the way of the world. Um, but it's up to you to build that boundary, set that boundary, because the King of Swords is all about boundaries too. You have to think it's dealing with the mind. And one thing I always stress on my channel is that this whole life thing, the way your life goes, it starts in the mind. It starts with the thought. You can wake up every day and create a whole new life for yourself. And what you want to strive for is a life that you don't have to keep recreating, in a sense where you have to keep starting over. You want to learn from your past and then just build upon that. And I think that's what you're being encouraged to do here. And I know this reading is just based on how people view you, but I would not feel right if I didn't come on and like give advice in that sense. Um, not only because I'm being called to, but because that's just the type of person that I am. So I guess essentially because I'm being called to, I just can't do it. So I'll get back to your put it over here. I'll get back to your reading on how people view you, but just make sure you're taking care of yourself, because it was you'll be doing yourself a complete disservice and an injustice if you continue to like let people be the priority over you. This is your life. Like, I'm not saying that like you got to be an asshole or like, oh well, no, be selfish, me, but there are times where you have to have self-care and prioritize yourself. That is not selfish. That, if anything, that is helping other people, because how can you help other people if you can't help yourself? It doesn't work like that. Then you have Lay of the Land, Ancestral Wisdom here, represented by the number 34 up there. You have Dust Devil, Moving Out of Stagnation, represented by the number 15. And then you have Truth Be Told, represented by the number 14. And then Exchanging Gifts, represented by the number 27. So, yes, I think that with this this Knight of Pentacles at the end here, that pairs well with this moving out of stagnation, Dust Devil card. I think what you're doing is for some of you, if you're not already, you're coming to the realization that this is how people are viewing you. And maybe this reading was just further confirmation for you. Like, damn, like that really is how people see me. But here's the thing. Again, what you are dealing with, what you're going through, and how you're set up, it could be very well from how your parents were, how your parents were, how whoever it is that raised you were, or whatever the case may be. But there is a lot of wisdom within you. There are a lot of things within you that need to be learned and unlearned. And there's a lot that you can, like, even from the way you are now, you could take that, learn from it, and then teach the next. There's no, and I think that with people seeing you in this way and maybe pointing it out to you, that's your sign to take heed in a sense. Nobody's telling you what to do. And if they are, like, if it's for your betterment, and it's even though it may sound uncomfortable and it may look uncomfortable, just ask yourself, is this the type of person that I want to take advice from? Is there, if it's not coming from a malicious place, I know that at times criticism can seem destructive when it's really not. We'll call it that. But if it's coming from a place where it's really constructive, and it's for your betterment, then it's definitely coming from a higher source and a higher power, whether it's from a person or not. We never know who God's sending down to us to have a conversation or to put the bug in our ear, whatever the case may be, or what it is. You listening to this reading now as well could be, but there's a lot within you that you haven't even uncovered yet, and people see it within you. They see that, like, again, you're very nurturing. You're the Empress. You have that whole, like, the Empress is the embodiment of, like, creation, of, like, building on something. Like, you can literally create life. You have so much spark in you, and it's untapped potential in a sense. And people see that within you, and they honor that, and they know you. I think that's why people love you so much. There are people, again, like I said, that may manipulate you or come across you and say, oh, I want to use you, I love your energy, let me go get my straw, but then there are others who see you and they're like, this person just needs a break. And I love them for being so caring, so selfless, so giving, but they don't even see everything that they have within them. And but with that Dust Devil moving out of stagnation, I feel like that's united with that Knight of Pentacles, not necessarily taking any moves at all. You're naturally like slow to go type person. So you're getting back to that and honoring that part of yourself. If you're not, then again, praying you consider it so you can slow down and see that life isn't all about other people, because other people want you to see that life isn't all about them. And then with your last two cards, truth be told, and then exchanging gifts. Again, you have a lot of untapped potential here, and people are seeing that you have a gift. Maybe you have for some of you, maybe you have like a pet or of some sort that kind of you bond with in a sense, and they bring out the best in you, or you see these great qualities when you're like around them, or just whatever the case may be with that whole thing. I don't know why animal came to me, because I mean there is a kitten there, but for some reason I'm seeing like the the presence of animals and us, not being, we don't have the same language, we don't speak the same language, yet we still are able to cohabitate and live peacefully with each other. And I think that says a lot. If you can live peacefully around something that can't even like verbally understand you, in a sense, it's more like a mental thing. This just kind of further proves, or maybe I'm just thinking too deep into it, but this just kind of further proves my point of you getting back with that King of Swords in order to turn that upright. Just kind of being alone in solitude for a while, so you don't have to worry about other people necessarily. um and then with the truth be told here, there's an owl, and then there's like this window of hearts flying out. And I feel like what that is right there is just all of the untapped potential finally being seen and exposed to you, and you being able to show the world your true light, because they know that underneath all of that you're doing and all that you're trying to do to help other people and be a light to other people, you're slowly dimming yours. And all you have to do is, I don't know why the thought just came to me. Okay, so, and this is probably my last one, but it's a song. It's called "The Presence of the Lord is Here." I can't remember who sings it. The presence of the Lord is here. Listen to that song, but that is my song. But the reason it came to me, I'm thinking, is because I thought of the window, and there's like a lyric in there. It says, "He'll open up a window and pull you out a blessing." And it's like, in all that you're doing, you waiting for all these doors to open up for you. Like, you could be doing all these things and for other people and being such a caring, nurturing person, thinking like you're going to receive something back. You're waiting for that door to open. But meanwhile, God's about to open a window for you, but you can't see the window being open because you're too busy looking at the doors. You're too busy looking at the way that you have been going about things. You're waiting for someone to give you something, because, and that's why you keep doing so much. But the thing is, God's going to do it all for you. God's going to take care of it. And maybe the lesson in this is for you to slow down so that you can actually look around and see your surroundings and say, oh shoot, there's a window open, what's over here? Like, you know what I mean? And in that window will be nothing but self-love, and you'll be able to pour back into yourself. It's a break, it's a breath of fresh air, and it's not something you were even expecting, because again, you were looking over here. But yeah, I definitely think that. And then there's a mask down here too. At the very bottom, there's a mask. It's time for you to take your mask off and just rest and be your full authentic self, without, minus the manipulation tactics, minus the over giving, minus the not believing in yourself, the surface level relationships and all those things, because there is like a world of people out here. And then there's people who see you now. Again, like I said, they see the potential in you, and then they see what you're not doing for yourself as well. But It's all on you to turn it around again. It all starts in the mind. And I believe in you. I know you got this. So, again, this was definitely different from the other two piles, but I'm glad that I'm here to relay the message. And I pray that it was received well because I meant it from a good place. And I pray that it makes sense to you. So, if you're still here with me, I thank you so much for being here. If this resonated with you, please let me know down in the comments. You can like and subscribe as well. All my links and things will be down below. And yeah, I pray you enjoy the rest of your day or your night.